have found the Genesis frequency. This is Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina welcoming you in to another episode of a show that focuses on your whole life prosperity and success. Whole life prosperity and success by cooperating with the universal laws that are available to each and every one of us. This is Quantum Leap Goal Achievement, radical personal transformation, whole life prosperity and success. Now, stay tuned for another exciting episode that'll move the needle in your life from where you are now to where you want to be. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it may be, wherever you are in the world. When you hit that play button, so glad you did. So glad you continue to do so. And welcome in if you're brand new. You have found the Genesis frequency. This is Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kosmina coming at you and taking a dive today into an exploration of where you are. Where are you right now? We are 6 months plus into this new year when this is being recorded. Okay. And it's time to do a check in, but there's a little bit of a paradox here. What is that all about? What do you mean? well, I'm a big advocate of, hey, don't keep score. Don't keep score, meaning we're not always looking at, hey, where is it? Why isn't it showing up? So let me back up a little bit. Let's look at our life and where we're at in relation to where we really want to be according to our deepest dreams, our deepest desires, our hopes, our wishes, our aspirations. And I want you to think about this, whether you're just looking at your life. Well, really look at it in all these areas. Your life as just an individual, just living life, right? And if you're listening to the show, hopefully you've gotten in touch with the inner longing and discontent and have sought to satisfy that longing and discontent. I work with so many people that look at that longing and discontent and can't put their finger right on it, or maybe they haven't, or maybe they don't think they can, and they stay in that same place for years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I want you to look at this as an individual or as a small business owner, and I shouldn't keep saying or, because I'd really like to, if you're a small business owner or you're involved on a corporate team, I want you to look at all these areas, what you want for yourself individually for your life, what you want in your small business if you are an entrepreneur or if you're someone who wants to become one. Don't forget, I can help you with that. Or if you're on a corporate team, your corporate team, whether you're a C suite executive, whether you are in management, up level, mid management, doesn't matter where you're a frontline worker dealing directly with the consumers, you are all key personnel. Okay. So you contribute to the culture of that corporation. Maybe you're in the wrong place. Maybe you're in the right place and things have to move in a different direction, whatever that is. It's time to really evaluate what, if you've been listening to this show for a while, and if you're not a client of mine, or if I haven't worked with you in your small business or with your company on any aspect of it, because whatever aspect we work on, you get me. So whether it's a marketing plan or whether it's mindset and success development, growth, corporate culture, or an individual working on their big dreams, it doesn't matter. If you are not a client of mine, but you listen to this show regularly, you're the one that I'm inviting to really look at the progress you've made since the beginning of this year. Where are you? The rest of you, if you've listened to me long enough, or if you're working with me and you're one of my clients, especially if you're one of my clients, if you've just been listening to me, you should probably do a check in too. If you're one of my clients, you know that I'm an advocate of feeling is the secret. You decided what it is that would satisfy your longing and discontent. You've designed the dream, deliberately designed the dream, thinking not outside the box, but like there is no box, the biggest dream for your life. And you made the commitment to pursue that. Those of you that are working with me, you don't need to do a check and you feel into it because it's already real, right? Feeling is the secret. You are in that state. You should be in that state every single day. So this isn't as much for you because I don't want you to move out of this state. I want you to keep moving along your journey of being what it is, becoming what it is that's experiencing your dream. The rest of you, hey, this should be a little bit of a wake up call, a little bit of a shake up call. Just listening to something, just reading the book and getting another book and looking for answers and looking for solutions outside of yourself is really not going to move the needle. Maybe it'll move the needle a little bit. Yes, I do want you to continue to listen to this show because this is a good start. This is really your own personal and professional development program in a box, so to speak, just by hitting that play button, but it's not personalized to your specific situation. That's why I encourage you to give me a call all the time. Every show I encourage you to give me a call, free call, just hop on an appointment with me. But here's why I want you to check in, because we can listen to shows like this. We can buy into programs. We can maybe we oh, that program's cheap, and we make a decision, which is the worst way, by the way, to make a decision based on how much something's cost. You should always base your decision on want. But anyway, we can get into all that other stuff, chase every shiny object out there, looking for those answers outside of ourselves and really not make any movement. And there is a reason for this. It's because we haven't learned how to do things in a certain way. We have to learn how to do things in a certain way, and we have to learn to identify specific habits, behavioral traits, and programming that we usually can't do all by ourselves. Sometimes we're so close to it that we don't see it, or it lies just underneath the surface and it's elusive. But it's the certain way that we pursue what it is that we want to experience in our lives. It's not about doing certain things. It's about certain doing things in a certain way. So you got to get really clear on that. Again, it's not about doing certain things, it's about doing things in a certain way. So, where are you? I want this to be a wake up call because I want you to reach out. It's 6 months into the year, and have you made any movement? And now I want you to look at three specific areas. Usually we look at seven or eight when you make a phone call and we talk to each other. But I want you to right now look at relationships, okay? Both the significant other type of relationship, right? Your love life, and or in family relationships if you want to improve something or repair something, that kind of thing. So relationships is one area we look at. We look at certainly health and physical fitness. Where are you? Where do you want to be? And we look at the finances. We look at our time and money freedom. Where are you at? The biggest one is usually that I run into is with people is the relationships and money, right? People, we all want more money. We figure everything else is in there if we only had a lot of money. So here's a good question to ask yourself. And this is sometimes the energy's right. I'll ask somebody when we get together on a call, because Bob Proctor, the late Bob Proctor, my mentor and coach, asked me this the first time I talked to him. And I'm going to ask you, what is the most amount of money you've ever made in 1 year? Okay. So if money keeps coming up as one of your dreams, desires to have or accumulate a lot of it, think about what is the most money you ever made in 1 year. Okay. Now, ask yourself the question, why haven't I made that amount of money consistently in a single month? So ask yourself that. Why is that not my monthly income? Why is that my annual income? And most of the time, you're going to find it doesn't matter what the amount is. And I don't care what that dollar figure is, because you know what? Whatever it is possible for you. Whatever it is, whatever you think that magic number. And there's a way we get to that, too, by the way. There's a specific formula that we can look at and talk about and design. I even have some material I can share with you. But whatever that number is, most people don't allow themselves to go there. I remember years ago talking about a coworker, and he got laid off from a position we both had. Actually, he was training to be my supervisor for a while, and I rode with him when I was back on the road in sales, and he got let go from that position, and he was looking for another position, and he said he was looking for something that paid him at least $100,000. And I said, well, a year or a month? And he looked at me and he said, a month? Like if that's something that is totally out of the question, totally not possible. Like, are you from outer space or what? And I said, no, I'm serious. You can do that. You can do that. I have a vehicle, by the way, if you want to look at it, that can get you there. But but that's what happens with most people when I ask the question. Are you nuts? But that's just a limiting belief. If you felt like that, yeah, right, a month. Like, yeah, I made $250,000 last year. Do you think you're going to make that in a month? I bust my tail. Yeah, you can. Somebody else is doing it, and they probably know less than you do. So where are you? Where are you in this? When I asked that question and I started moving, you know, working to move my annual income into my monthly income, I kind of was in the same place, deer in headlights thing, but I knew, absolutely knew it was possible, and absolutely knew Mr. Proctor was right. That yeah, there's a lot of people that were doing that did not have the wisdom and the knowledge that I do. And I said, yeah, why, so ask yourself, why not me? Why not you? And it's into we get into whatever you felt when I asked that question, when it just invited you to consider that as a possibility. There's something there. If there was like a yeah, right in your thinking, excuse me, well, then that's a belief that you are harboring that tells you constantly that that's not possible for you. And that's a false belief. And that whole scenario there, excuse me, is just to illustrate that you have these limiting beliefs. Okay. So we have to get past that. We have to get past that. And we have to work to do things, work it out, learn how to do things in a certain way, to think in a certain way, to speak in a certain way, and develop inner programming which will cause us to act in a certain way. And this is something that you can do. This is something that you can learn. And what's interesting, and I know because I've checked them out, you can go to a lot of different coaches out there. Everybody and their brother wants to be a coach these days or a consultant, right? But then I will come in under suitable pretext and I'll ask them, how much time do you spend on programming and paradigms and beliefs? Well, we don't do that. We work with SMART goals. We do this. Well, I don't work with SMART goals. I don't, because we work with outrageous, wild dream goals. That's what we work with. But they don't even know about this thing. I remember when I became a prosperity teacher, master prosperity teacher, years and years and years ago. I was trained, I was certified. I didn't even know what a paradigm was. I had to look it up in the dictionary. And how I was originally trained in a program that I was facilitating and teaching early on when I started doing this, a long time ago, what they were teaching as, hey, this is a paradigm, they were really word tracks. I was taught that a paradigm is, oh, money doesn't go on tree. Well, that's a belief, and it can turn into a an element of a paradigm, but those were word tracks that turn into the belief, and that's part of that monkey chatter that I just did a couple episodes on. So it's really important for you to really decide, hey, I am not there yet, and he's right. This guy I'm listening to on this podcast is right. It's been 6 months. I've been listening to this show. I identified exactly what I want, and then I do it sometimes, and then I drift away. Well, the drifting away is part of not doing things in a certain way. The drifting away, the start stop is all part of the programming, and we can correct that. But you most likely have to work with somebody. You can go back to this beginning of this year and start listening again. I was real specific and intentional when I started this year off, really when I ended last year, and we did some pre-work that I do with clients. I did at the end of last year, getting you to really identify what it is that would satisfy that longing and discontent. And then I took you through a little bit of the process, not the entire process of learning how to do things in a certain way. So I gave you a lot of golden nuggets on this show. But I really encourage you, if you have not for some reason, and I talk to people all the time that say, yeah, I finally booked a call. I was afraid. What are you afraid of? It's just a conversation, and I help you identify what those stumbling blocks are. So, where are you in relation to where you want to be? Have you identified what you want? Or have you just settled? Have you settled for the status quo? Have you just settled, well, I was listening and I had a big dream goal and and then I got a raise and I was good like that. Don't settle into a comfort zone. You know, what are some of the sayings I post? The cave you fear to enter holds your wildest dreams, things like that. I'm paraphrasing. But you probably know this at some level. And maybe you would think, hey, I got a handle on this. But I assure you, the paradigm's going to win. You might make some incremental increase. And again, this is for you as an individual, a small business owner, or in the corporate space. Whatever it is you're working on, you're going to make some incremental improvement, but you're going to slip back to where things always were. I guarantee it. And I guarantee on the other side of that, that you can, whatever it is, and throw those SMART goals out the window. That's maybe for the steps in between when we're working on the big dream, outrageous goal. Maybe we pull some elements out of that, but that's old school stuff. We have to think illogically. We have to get out of the intellect for a while. We have to learn how to utilize the illogical mind so we start to do things in a certain way. And this is a behavior process that has to be learned. And I've been talking about money in this show because everybody wants a lot of it. And it's a good example, and you can have a lot of it. But this is for any area. When I take you through a process of identifying what it is you want, the first thing that I ask you to do is to not limit yourself, just to pull out that page and just list everything you would love to experience in your life. A lot of people call that a bucket list. We're not doing about a bucket list because we're going to do it. But make a list of everything that you want to experience in your life without any ceiling, without any limits, right? And so that's a whole nother show. And I did that at the beginning of the year and took you through that process. But you can be doing have it all. So if you decided at the beginning of the year, yeah, this is the year I want to be doing have it all, and you're not working with me as a client, then I invite you to really evaluate where you are. Because if there's been no movement or very little movement, you're going to end up living the same year over again that you lived last year and the year before and the year before that and the year before that. You're going to do it over and over and over again until you learn how to do things in a certain way and identify some of the ways you're wired, some of the programming that has been installed that you don't even know about. So, with that all being said, there's a lot. Let's just call this episode, a checkup from the neck up and a checkup on a look to the results. I usually invite you to look to the thoughts because the sequence is always the same. Thoughts plus feelings plus actions equals results. But I really encourage you, if you are not experiencing the life you would love to live, and a life you love living, where everything is clicking on all cylinders. And yeah, there's the law of rhythm. We have ups and we have downs, but I'm talking about you see movement, and this is my dream, and I'm living it now. If you're not there, reach out and let's have a conversation. You can do that at successappointment.com. I realized that the times that I had in there were a little bit limited, so I just opened up the calendar a little bit more. So go to successappointment.com. It's not a website, it's not a sales page, it's not a lead capture thing or anything like that. It's just my calendar. Successappointment.com. Pick a spot. We'll have a little bit of a conversation to see where you are. I'll send you some stuff to help you identify what it is you really want. And if you are stuck, we'll look at why you're stuck, and I'll set you up with a plan to move forward in a positive direction. But you got to reach out, successappointment.com. And if you are looking for that entrepreneurial opportunity, a vehicle that can be the machine that takes you to whatever income level, big income level you look for yourself, because I only work with big thinkers, reach out to me as well. You can go to successocean.biz, successocean.biz to find out a little bit more about that. That is a capture page. You fill out your information and we'll set up an interview to see if we're an energetic match and can move forward with that. But I recently posted a video in there to talk a little bit about that opportunity that is not multi-level marketing, and it is in this field of personal and professional and leadership development. So if that's something that would interest you, moving into the cell phone and laptop lifestyle and working anywhere in the world, reach out. That's successocean.biz. Just to have a conversation, successappointment.com. If it's a workshop, keynote speaking, and you're looking to do something in the corporate environment or in your small business, you might want to go to successocean.com. And there's a questionnaire on there. We can get a little more detail beforehand so I know the specific direction you want to go in. Other than that, all I can really say is reach out, step back, look at your life in comparison to where you really, really want to be. Look at relationships, time and money freedom, health and physical fitness. And if you're not where you want to be and you're not making any progress, please reach out, successappointment.com. For now, that's it. That's all the time we have. We're going to call it a wrap today. You've been listening to the Genesis Frequency, and you've been listening to me, Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kosmina. And I wish for you an infinitely spectacular day. God bless you.